Oh yeah, I think that's their best selling.
Is it?
Like I love the cappuccinos that they make here, but I think that's their number one selling drink. Like it's so good, it fell out of your face.
Exactly, it's just too good.
Yeah.
That's just perfect marketing, bro.
There you go.
Right.
So anyways, this is the first time that we've had the opportunity to have one of our original members. You were the youngest when we started back, when we went public in 2021 and created this membership of learning. How old were you in 2021?
I would have been 21. Yeah, it would have been October 2021. And I was right at the deadline. I remember when I met
You're humming and hawing, yep.
Yeah, I was humming and hawing, do I do this? And shot the message, and then you guys were just down the street. It worked out perfectly, and you guys had an hour slot for me and came in, and the rest is kind of history now, I guess, hey? 4 or 5 years now.
So I'm going to put you on the spot then, because come April of this year, that's 5 years. You played for the first 3 years, which was strictly knowledge.
Yeah.
You came and you learned seminar style.
Yeah.
We don't charge for courses. You came and learned everything from budgeting to all the different avenues of investing, tools like GICs, TFSAs, all this kind of thing in between knowing nothing and what the wealthy people do.
Absolutely.
And then you had the option to leave.
Yep.
We'd pay you out.
Yep.
Or you'd come forward with us to phase 2. So now I'm going to put you on the spot.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Why are we here?
Why are we here today?
Yeah, what can you tell me? What can you ask me? I want to see what a young gentleman like yourself in his mid-20s, which must be incredibly difficult in 2026. You got the world pulling you one way, and just basic common sense pulling you the other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I feel so sorry for your generation because you're the social media generation.
Yeah.
It was so easy to manipulate your young minds.
Absolutely.
Because your media came from flashy content, TikTok, Instagram, doom, gloom, this is your enemy. Today, no, this is your enemy.
Yeah.
Oh no, the world's gonna end tomorrow if this person gets elected.
Gambling, OnlyFans, throwing everything in front of you.
Flash, flash. And we're wondering why you're all medicated. So I feel really sorry for the way that your generation and the one younger was manipulated, and it was so easy. All they had to do was tell you the world is a terrible place.
Yeah.
So then this is I think what the point of this is, what made you say, no, it can't be a terrible place. I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
I can learn anything that I want. I can create the future that I want. I don't need to buy and sell courses. It's not some bullshit online. How does your mid-20s mind look at the world? How did you get here?
You know, it was crazy because when I did start off with you guys back 5 years ago, I didn't really know anything, really, especially about the world of money, period. You know, I had gotten a credit card.
And then you learned money's not real.
Yeah, I learned that very, very quick, and I learned how to play with it. And I remember the biggest lesson of compound interest, you know. Yeah. Most people still don't know what that is.
They have a credit card, so they know how compounding works against them.
Yeah, but not for them.
Nope.
No.
Compounding is strictly time.
No, exactly. And I think it was just super important at the time to take that leap where most people my age don't take that leap to go and learn about all those things because one, they don't know where to go. First of all, they can go exactly buy a course and get scammed on the internet and learn pretty much nothing and come out of it, you know, losing $20 because they spent it on this stupid course. I wanted to step out of that comfort zone and you know, learn from an expanded market from you guys. You guys have been all over the world. You guys have done so much more. You guys have created an unreal group over the last 5 years that's allowed me to not only expand my network, push my boundaries, but also grow myself as a young entrepreneur myself and start my own ventures out and be able to get advice that you wouldn't be able to get just anywhere. That's for sure. You wouldn't even be able to buy some of the advice I feel like I could unless you had a crap ton of money, which you don't usually have in your early 20s. So, you know, I came part of that group because I wanted a different life. I wanted a bigger life for not only myself but my family around me.
Potential future family.
The future family as well. But I just wanted to be able to take care of those that took care of me while I was able to grow up, and was fortunate enough to have a pretty decent life growing up. So being able to return that favor and create that life for myself and a greater life for my kids was extremely important. And I realized
Kids
that
you don't even have
I don't
yet.
even have. I'm only 25.
Most people don't think like
Exactly,
you. They
yeah.
hit that wall. They're like, oh my goodness, I got someone pregnant. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Whereas you're like, I don't know if I want kids yet, but if I have them, that's expensive.
It is, yeah. I can't even, just take care of one human. Imagine taking care of a wife and one kid, not to say more that come out after the line,
exactly.
right? So, and I think I realized that at 20, 21, after going through those COVID years too, sitting alone, you think a lot too, and instead of just sitting there playing video games the entire time, it's, all right, let's start a business. And that's when I did start my first business, was in COVID. It was my neon sign company. And I was able to slowly and start grow that at the end of 2020 and into 2021 when I met you guys. And that was kind of this big transition period from me to go from just someone that's selling online to then approaching bigger businesses like the Edmonton Oilers, where I was able to get the opportunity to pitch a $1 billion corporation like them to take in my signs into their flagship stores. And, at the time I knew how to do things like get the manufacturing done. I knew how to do the branding. I knew how to set up the store, but I had no idea how to go sit in a room and negotiate with, the president of marketing and all these other guys that deal with, suits all day, as I like to say.
It's this is what people don't understand. Everybody talks about 7, 8, 9, 10 figures. Like, it's so easy because social media shows everyone on a yacht. Yeah. Billionaires are evil. It's so easy to 10x.
Yeah.
But no one actually, everyone thinks they know what it's like up there, but most people have never even earned the ability to respect the dialogue that happens up there.
Yeah.
A true wealthy person has developed their dialogue. You, like you said, you figured out manufacturing because you can look at that online.
Yeah.
You figured out designing because you could either learn how to use CAD yourself or you could pay someone to show you different samples and build it from there.
Absolutely.
But you cannot fake knowing how to talk to a 10-figure company.
No.
Because they had to earn their way there over decades. So if you pitch it like a 20-year-old kid, yo bro, I got these signs, man.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. It's going to be the best ones you ever have. That may
Yeah.
work in your little drinking group. You're going to get laughed out of the room. You're probably never going to get into the room.
Exactly.
So is that where you found our greatest ability or advancement for you was to...
It really was.
Yeah.
It was. I remember going to Sorrentino's with you guys. This is way back when, and I was trying to come up with this proposal, this presentation that I went, and I remember how many iterations I had to go through, and it took a year and a half because, maybe at the very beginning when I did initially pitch them, I didn't do it that right way, but then I was able to, curate my presentation a little bit more by sitting down with you guys and having that open dialogue of, okay, the do's and don'ts and the take this approach and here's another way to look at the situation you're in kind of deal. And those things were able to help me, I guess, take away almost a little bit from what I had because it made it better. I was almost putting a little bit too much into my basket, I guess, and it didn't need to be that much. I needed to simplify it
You
down.
were loading up your brain on what you thought they wanted to hear, trying to cover all those angles. And what we could do, because we're in a position to understand 10-figure companies, is we could just tell you what it is they want to hear. So forget all the fluff and the beauty and the pamphlets and the pitch decks.
Yeah.
Someone probably sold you a course on how to make a pitch deck, but they don't actually know what 10-figure businesses want to buy.
Yeah.
There's only 2 or 3 criteria in a 10-figure business's acquisition desire, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So you got to shrink all of it down into a straight-on proposal.
Exactly, and it was crazy to go from what I thought was what they would want again to what it actually ended up being, and it was pretty much. It felt like I didn't have enough there, but it was more than enough at the most basic level of it because it's time, right? They want to go in there, they want to know what we're doing. and they want to make a deal or they don't want to make a deal, or time's money, right? If you don't.
And the more pages, what they're thinking is you've covered it up so you could sneak something in.
Exactly.
Have you ever noticed the contracts that we make even for the memberships?
Yeah.
It's 3/4 of a page. It only goes to a second page if we need to put in any special stipulations and the signatures.
Yeah.
Here's all the details on one page. Any lawyer can try picking this apart.
Yeah.
And our worst case scenario, if we don't want you around, we buy out your contract.
Yeah.
There's nothing more than that.
No.
The only time that you see those like a bank and a mortgage document,
Exactly.
19, 20, 25 pages, is because 12 to 14 of those pages are how the bank covers their ass and how they can get out of this deal if they don't want to be in it anymore.
Yeah.
Billionaires do not want to read how you don't want to be liable for your shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let's see some numbers. What
Straightforward.
do you know? Because I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to ask you if you know about your product, or are you just regurgitating the spec sheet that you got from
by
the
ChatGPT.
Yeah, if you
to put it together.
which they'll appreciate, but if you at least learned it after putting it through ChatGPT, then they know who they're talking with. Are you a salesperson, or are you the person who came up with the concept? Because that's who they want to talk to. Because that's the honesty.
Exactly.
Not the sugarcoating.
Exactly.
Don't put on a suit if you were born in the hood.
Exactly.
Not to say that one day you won't wear a suit, but you cannot. The lipstick on a pig does not work to billionaires.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't traveled with us yet, but those in the group who have, you'll notice that the wealthy people in those circles are not in suits.
No.
They're not driving anything flashy. They're not trying to impress anyone. So if you're trying to impress them with things, they already know that you don't have the right mindset to do business with. Dumb that shit down.
Exactly. And sure enough, it worked. You go in there and and sure enough, it works. And now, we're sitting here. It's been a full year now that I've had my signs in the Oilers flagship store, and we've done over $15,000 in the last year worth of sales with them, which is amazing, right?
I love that the last thing you threw in was the dollar amount, because that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You learned the process on how to get there.
Yeah.
It's infinitely duplicatable.
Absolutely.
So now you could go and 10x that, as they talk about, buy a course and 10x it.
Yeah.
But now you know how to sit down with billionaires and respectfully create the dialogue that generates revenue. Revenue is the last portion of it. The respect and the dialogue is everything.
Exactly. And that brought me further. I had the pleasure of sitting down in October with the owner of the Ottawa Senators too, to further give him a sign and pitch them as well for another team as well. So I'm now in talks with Alexi Anlauer, the daughter of the Ottawa Senators, so to get them as our next client. So those repeatable steps do fall into place, and now I know how to put myself into those rooms and execute a little bit better. And I can attest to what you said about you're not going to see those suits when you get into the room with the real wealthy.
No,
and
they're uncomfortable, man. You can have the best suit made; they are not comfortable.
I got to go to London last September.
That's right.
It was beautiful. It was such an amazing experience. I got to do everything under the sun, but. My second last day in London, my uncle had also happened to be in London for business. He does laundry. And anyways, we got to go out with this extremely, extremely wealthy Chinese man. And he was going to take us to the Mayfair Club in London.
Ooh, yeah. Been there.
It was a really neat experience for me to go do. But anyways, when I met this man, he was in a pair of Lululemon pants and
absolutely.
And we went to the Mayfair Club, and I remember walking in and seeing the Lamborghinis and the McLarens. Everything's parked in the street and suits everywhere. And this guy walks in, and the first thing he does, he turns around and he starts laughing. He's like, "Look at all these guys in these suits, all these phonies." And that's the first thing he said to me.
And he did it laughingly, right? He wasn't insulting him. He's just like, look at all these people trying to act like they've made it, and all they're doing is wasting money, renting cars, and maxing out their credit to get these suits to look like they belong there. And he just waltzed in with it. He's actually got the membership. He didn't pay the day rate.
Absolutely. You walk straight through the door, the bouncer knew who. Here's your
There you go. If the staff knows you, you don't need the suit.
He was telling us that one of his problems that day was he couldn't park his new Porsche in his garage because his garage was too small in his brand new $20 million house that he had bought that was just down the street. We had walked from there to the Mayfair Club, and it was quite a neat experience to be a part of, but just to attest to being able to 21-year-old me would not have been able to sit in that room in the same way that now me would be able to sit in those rooms and be able to act and listen and take that in or have that same vocabulary. And that's some of the biggest lessons I've learned over the last few years being within the group. You know, it's been a big thing for me to listen more than speak, especially in my younger age.
Talking.
Exactly. And you can learn a lot more about the world if you just pay attention and listen than if you're sitting there talking the whole time. People will tell you everything you want to know if you just let them sit there and talk, right?
Absolutely. And look, when you think of sensory, you got touch, hearing, eyes, smell. The least valuable one is the talking.
Yeah.
So use the other senses to learn. The talking is when it's your turn to pass it on to a mentee.
Yeah.
And I love how what you said there was, you said 2021, that me couldn't have sat in that scenario 4 years prior.
There's no way.
No way. And nowhere in there did you say, you didn't tell me what your monetary value was as of sitting down at the Mayfair Club.
Yeah.
You just said my respect level, my dialogue was now up to par, that I was allowed to sit here and I respected the scenario and they gave me the chance to grow with them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That there's no dollar value that equates to that, because someone who's rude worth $10 million will never be invited back at that table.
No, not at all.
I don't care if you're worth 50 million. You insult these people by thinking your money bought your way in. Yeah, you'll get a table and you can sit with everyone else with the Lambos and Range Rovers and whatever, because that's all they're worth. Checking to see who's looking at their car and their suit.
Yeah.
The guys in the comfy shorts, they got a little polo shirt, but they've probably got a $100,000 watch, which is the only subtle cue, because it'll tell you what brand they like.
Yeah.
But they're not going to flex on you.
No.
But they'll be sitting there having their cigar, having their coffee, not getting drunk, not being loud, and like you said, the chauffeur, the bouncer, the security escorted them to the private table.
Yep.
Not the peon table.
Yeah. It was so interesting just using that situation again, you know, just learning being in that club for the first time too, to see all the different girls that are placed in the bar too, like they're there on purpose.
Oh, you already noticed that?
Yeah, they were teaching me as we were walking through the club too, and like you said as well, we sat down at the table and sparkling waters came our way and non-alcoholic beverages and straight to them all, it was just very neat because I got to watch.
No bottle service showed up with sparklers on it?
No, we didn't need all that. It was good conversation.
Because you didn't stop Miami.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it was neat to watch my uncle, who's a CEO of quite a large company, and this Chinese man who's done so much around the world. His mom has this factory, I can't even think, a warehouse. It's some just millions and millions of square feet or whatever it was. It was such
they have mega factories.
Stupid number that I couldn't even. It was bigger than West Edmonton Mall, like 2 or 3 West Edmonton malls, and I couldn't even comprehend that. But it's just to show the magnitude of what this guy
and
could
he'll
just
employ 20 or 30,000 people. Yes,
exactly. And I had the privilege to sit at a desk, at a table with him for a few hours, and on top of that, get his number on my phone afterwards. And he followed up with me a few weeks later too. I followed up with him, but he followed up with me when he was at a hockey game in New York with his sons, because they were going to look at some of the universities. But I had made the touch point that I worked for the Oilers, so his touch point was, oh, look, I'm at a Rangers game. So anyways, just to have that contact is just it's such a privilege, right? Really to be in the presence of somebody like that, and to gain that respect is just something that I definitely would not have. I didn't have the life skills to do that at the age of 21, and definitely learned that heavily through being able to sit with you guys and just watch what you guys have been able to do across the world.
I think it wouldn't have been one of the first things we said, because we always said, you know what, you're going to be respectful in here, we'll be transparent, you can ask your questions. We're going to start with budgeting, but what you're going to find out is that this has nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
You're going to learn that the true network is not a networking event. It's the tables you're allowed to sit at through respecting the process, and any process takes time. Yeah. I have no idea how to make someone wealthy in 1 year. 6 months, 10xing in a year. No, that's not possible. But if you, over 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, work your way into the rooms where you get to sit at the tables because you've proven to have good character, eventually you're going to be allowed to enter one of these plays that people in the 8, 9, and 10 figure world offer you because of the respect. They know you will not make them look bad. You're not going to use it as a bragging point on social media. And then all of a sudden, they don't care if you can put in 10 million. Scott may only be able to put in 100,000 because that's his line of credit, but it doesn't matter because the wealthy pool, the groups pool together and everybody wins at the same rate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And when you get that chance, I hope to God you take it. Because I mean, you have stuff that you can do with us, which you are, you know, but on a much larger level in those games that you're playing. One day they're going to say, Scott, we're doing this. Would you like to be a part? And I hope you do like I did years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. What can I do for you in the meantime?
Exactly. And that's just the most important portion. Like, what can I do for you? How can I continue to help you? Like,
we make our business partners money long before we ever take our piece. And then they don't care how much profit or revenue or equity you get at the end because you waited till everyone got what they were promised, if not more. And then they don't care if you made more at the end because they got exactly what the terms were. Sprinkle a little more that way. Take a little out of your profit, sprinkle a little more of them. Like, wow, I got more than was promised ahead of time. All you need to be is on time when you promise something, but if you make it ahead of time and more profitable, they're lining up just waiting for the next chance to work with you.
Absolutely.
There is no, let's just scam them and see if we can get away. If you scam the wrong people, there isn't another chance to do it. We hear about you in the news.
No, you don't want to be like all these influencers out there in the world doing that.
Because now they're either in jail, hopefully above ground, or they're under massive lawsuits. You can only spit on that thing and sell a meme coin to so many idiots before you find out that you scammed 1 million people.
Do you find that with the amount of stuff you guys do across the world, is there, you know, you guys don't really use, you know, the heavy branding of the influencers or that kind of niche to do what you guys do, yet you're so successful in doing that? Why do you think it is that you guys don't, why is it that you don't use influencers? I guess it's not...
Oh, like pop social
media. Why
isn't
celebrities,
the celebrities, social media influencers, athletes. This is going to sound terrible and it's going to piss people off. Who's buying products that are hawked by influencers, celebrities, and athletes? Broke people. I got no problem with LeBron endorsing a $500 pair of shoes, but who's buying them? Wealthy people aren't lining up. You're getting no influence on that sale. So a bunch of broke people are going to rack up their credit cards to buy whatever energy drink some girl with a fake ass and fake boobs is trying to hawk you on her social media platform where she paid for her followers. Celebrities have an opinion based on what they want, other people want them to say. So they're not even being genuine. As you know, we don't sell any of our products. Our products are used to place in very prestigious areas of the world. So if you're not a high-ranking member of the military, political influence in a strong country, or a board of directors for a financial institution, we don't want our products anywhere near you. And chances are we're just going to give it to you because we want it seen in that board meeting of a board of directors for a gigantic global financial institution. That's the watch on that gentleman's wrist, because everyone else in the room is going to be like, I've never seen that before. And everyone in that room can afford $100,000 or $500,000 watch, but they've never seen what the treasurer's wearing or the CEO's wearing. So we'll give it to him for free. And it'll be so subtle, we'll never tell anyone. And then when people start asking, where do I get one? You can't have one. They're only given to the people that we do business with. And then you can leverage it. I can't leverage a celebrity endorsement. You got to give them millions of dollars and hopefully they sell millions of whatever product you have. We don't sell products. We create exclusivity and create a demand. That way, when someone wants something that we have, if they want to acquire it, they have to do what we say. And what we say is charity. You're going to help us build a school in this country. You're going to help us build a hospital in this country. Or you can just not have what you want. Because you put it this way, when we brought our brand to Milan to walk at Fashion Week, everybody wanted to buy our products, but we only made one of one. And at the end of the show, we said, we're the only brand that does not sell any of the clothes, and people lost their mind.
They're like, what the hell?
They were coming up offering a whole bunch, like 4,000, 5,000 euro for a dress.
Yeah.
You know, any other brand would be like, whoa, here, let's do this.
Sold.
And it said, no, you can't have it. Well, here's the blank check, write whatever number you want, because my wife or my girlfriend, and not usually the same person, really wants this dress.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you what your opinion was on our dress. I know you want it because I just told you can't have it.
Yeah.
Which is what the wealthy want. They want what other people can't have. Exactly. Okay, how do I get it? Well, I'm not going to sell it to you, but if you put 50,000 euro into this orphanage that needs to be built, I'll give you the dress, and your family's name can go on the orphanage. So you can brag in your group of wealthy people that you helped build an orphanage, and your wife or girlfriend or side chick can have the dress. Yeah. So like Thanos, my will is done. Because we don't need money. What happens if you get money? You get taxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the point of selling anything? You position yourself globally.
Leverage.
Now, I'm not saying you do that. Just
Yeah.
You are at the point, you're early in your life.
Yeah.
Your current goal is to not generate a bunch of income.
No.
Or it is income, but it's income through a business, which is called revenue.
Yeah.
That was the difference between learning the dialogue.
Yeah.
Income for a company is revenue.
Yeah.
Now you buy assets with that revenue,
Exactly.
so you minimize your tax liability.
Exactly.
Everything's a lesson if you listen,
Yeah.
until eventually you have enough equity that the equity is growing faster than any possible revenue you can make.
Exactly.
So you stop using your time to generate revenue because your assets are going up and your equity that you can borrow against is more than you'd ever need.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in your 30s, you just start doing charity for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Give back. That's the goal, right? Exactly.
Because if you go to work, and here is the unfortunate thing that nobody seems to be able to figure out when it comes to investing. Maybe they're just really bad at math or didn't take grade 4 math. When an average person goes to work and wants to invest, the average income is meaning you're going to pay 25 to 35% taxes on your income. So you get to invest what's left.
Yeah.
That means your currency, which should be your time, you went and put in 100 hours, and right off the bat, let's just say between 25 and 35, we'll just pick 30.
Yeah.
Of your 100 hours, you had to give 30 of the hours away.
Yeah, donate
So let's
them.
say at $1 an hour, you got $100, you only have $70 left to now invest. Forget about actually taking care of your life.
Yeah.
You could only invest $70.
Yeah.
So in order just to get back to the 100 that you put the time in for, people are like, oh, well, I need to make up that 30%. No, 30% is how much you lost from 100 to bring you to 70.
Yeah.
To make 30 on $70 is actually 43% gains.
Yeah.
How many people can make 43% gains? Not a lot, eh?
No.
So people that think they're so smart with investing their after-tax dollars, they're starting in a hole that's already probably 43% under their worked hours.
Yeah.
Plus they're fighting inflation of 3 to 6% a year.
Yeah.
So you got to dig yourself out of 43%. Plus a compounding, we'll say 3.5% inflation every year.
Yeah.
And they think they're winning because they can look at their stock portfolio go up by 8 to 14%.
Yeah. No, you're not winning there. I'm sorry.
You're not winning. But as long as they think they're safe, cool. We've tried really hard to explain things to people. They'll figure it out when they're 65 and they can't retire.
Well, you choose to listen, or hey.
Ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yeah,
but eventually the bliss is going to bend you over and kick you in the jewels.
Yeah.
It's not our job to force people to learn.
No.
We just tried to help alleviate the pain. You either deal with it now or deal with the consequences at a higher level later. Back to compounding. Compounding works if you start early, but it also compounds the pain if you don't.
Exactly. And you guys were able to teach me that at, again, 20, 21 years old. I got quite a bit of a head start on that.
And you got out of debt, you hold minimal debt.
Yeah.
It's okay to have debt, but low interest.
Exactly. No, and I get the ignorance is blessed. Like people just choose to, I'll figure it out eventually. I'll
just get mad and blame I'll blame the wealthy because they must have done something.
Exactly.
You mean the wealthy that said if you are respectful, you can come sit at our table and we'll buy your product?
Exactly.
They held you back?
Yeah, those people.
Exactly. Those people that they just, some of them don't even have a lineage. They never had children because they put their life into building their wealth. They would love to have a younger version of them, that eager mind to come sit down, as long as you're respectful, and they'll teach you everything.
Exactly.
connect you as long as you're respectful with anything,
Yes.
manufacturing, design, shipping.
Anything.
Because these people have got lines on the freight companies of the world, the biggest manufacturers, a 30,000 foot manufacturing
Yeah.
facility, and they probably owns 5 of them.
Yeah.
These are people that can get things done because
Yeah.
they're not wasting their time hating on people, pretending that they don't know what gender they are or whether they're a furry or something.
They're just getting shit done.
They're just getting shit
They're
done.
getting
and
shit
we get
done.
mad at them for
Yeah.
succeeding because somehow
Yeah.
their success has held us back.
Exactly, and it's neat for me to actually. I wouldn't say neat. Neat's probably the wrong word. It's very interesting because, like you said, it's an interesting time right now. 2026, especially being a 25-year-old and looking at the world around me right now. It's an interesting one. And then we also got AI coming up too, and it's like 106,000 jobs in the U.S. last month alone. 106,000 jobs.
Did remove them?
Removed from the U.S. just from AI, not just the U.S. We're not even talking anywhere else. Just because AI is now knocking on the doorstep, and I truly believe it's bigger than the World Wide Web coming online. It's this
Absolutely, because the web is just something that gives you access to a much greater, we'll call it just turns your rural community or your municipal community into a global community with just typing something in.
Exactly.
But AI is going to know exactly what you're thinking before you even type it in. You should be really scared or really looking forward to the future.
Exactly.
I don't like to get into what people think is conspiracy, but yeah, AI will take over everything.
Yeah.
But why? Why is it needed? Because people don't want to work anymore. They think that working's a scam, 40 hours a week, I don't get paid enough. But year after year, generation after generation, we put less on the table for our employers.
Yeah.
But the cost of living goes up, so we want to get paid more.
Yeah.
And we're told that we're, taken advantage of by our employers. Like every cost that you have, your electrical bill went up, your employer's electrical bill went way up.
Yeah.
The air conditioning went way up to keep you cold and comfy so you can text on your phone about how oppressed you are.
Yeah.
Like if you just take the difference between our fathers or grandfathers, let's say the job was to fill up this cup of marbles.
Yeah.
And that's what you got paid for. And the company did whatever with that big jar of marbles.
Yeah.
The next generation or 2 generations later are only filling it up half or 60%.
Yeah.
The company can't do anything with that effort.
Yeah.
So you're not even going to get paid filling it up to what your grandfather used to. It would pay you what you need to live now, but you're not filling the jar with marbles anymore. You're taking mental health leaves.
Yeah.
You're showing up late on Monday, leaving early or calling in sick on Friday.
Yeah.
The output from an employee has gone down, but their stress levels because of social media and all this talk of bullshit oppression, they've clouded their minds with reality. They don't want to work, but they want to get paid enough. Let's circle back to why this is important with AI. Cool, now you don't have a job.
Yeah.
But if we've replaced everyone with AI, it means the industry still functions. So all that, and they don't work a substandard 8-hour day. They'll be at maximum efficiency 24 hours a day. Correct. So the output will actually be higher.
Yeah.
Or if you and I would work an 8-hour day, in a 24-hour day, every third day, you can just shut it down and have no power usage. Lowering the power consumption, then there's the green side picking itself back up. Now everybody doesn't have to drive to work, so what does that leave everyone? Unemployed or doing the minimal labor jobs, which is fine because the same amount of economic revenue is coming in from AI.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now you understand the universal income.
Yeah.
You can all live down here because you didn't want to work and you didn't want to appreciate what capitalism could get you. You just blamed capitalism for not having the things you wanted when really you just used your debt improperly.
Exactly.
Wealthy people use their debt to buy assets which gain equity. Broke people use their debt to go on vacation, get surgery on their bodies so they look better for longer, or whatever it is they think. Whatever they do with debt is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Broke mindset's buy depreciating asset. Wealth mindset is buying appreciating assets. That's the only difference between broke and wealth mindset.
Absolutely.
So here we go. AI is going to correct all of that for everybody. So now everyone can have will be equal.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll finally have
There you
equality, but it was not what the socialist pushing liberal movement was.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming left or right.
No.
Because as a society, that's where we got.
Yeah. It's just, and it truly is like an inevitable thing that is on its way of happening right now. It truly is.
Oh no, it's happening.
It's
just it requires a very large infrastructure and grid to power these AI facilities.
Yes.
But this is the point. So when they talk about going all electric with cars,
yeah,
we're 40 years away from even having the infrastructure that a quarter of the cars on the road could be made electric.
Yeah.
So this mandate by 2030, is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because anyone who can do, let's say, grade 5 math knows it's not possible.
Yeah, the numbers don't add up and those don't lie.
But it won't matter because we've explained to you why 2029, I'm not going into it on the YouTube video. You better have yourself set by 2029 because after that, it doesn't matter what you think you're doing. You're not smarter than the system. Your $200,000 or $300,000 a year salary is not going to save you. Your stock portfolio is not going to save you. Yeah. Crypto is not going to save you.
No.
You don't know what's coming. Yeah. You just think you're safe because you make a little more than everyone else, or, oh man, I got 7 figures to retire on. Yeah. If you think so, okay.
Wait and see.
There's a reason we said what we said, and no, it's not cultish. It's math.
Yeah.
People are like, well, you guys are scaring people. No, we haven't said anything that scares people. We've just said you have to have yourself an exit strategy, or you don't have an exit strategy. You have to play whatever game is being built around you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No.
So how's that scary? That's just real.
It's what's happening. You can choose to either listen to that and act upon that, or you can sit and wait to see if it's true or not. And it's gonna hurt.
I hope that people that know what we know are absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
But people up top have the best analysts in the world. They've been using AI longer than just making erotic cartoons for Instagram to keep you entertained.
Yeah.
They know exactly. Okay, here's an example, because we always told you 2029, 2030.
Yeah.
In Dubai, they can't build fast enough.
Yeah.
So you know who's in the middle of their projects? And you can look this up. This isn't conspiracy.
Yeah.
So LVMH Properties and the Wynn Residences have now built an arm on the Palms.
Yeah.
Why? Because people are going to go to places where you can't take their wealth away.
Exactly.
Which is why the collapse is happening in progressive society. The UK is toast.
Yep.
France is 6 to 8 months away from basically the same scenario. And we're pretending here in Canada, because we got a little bit of oil, that we're going to be safe again. Cool. 2029, there's a reason all these properties are opening up around the world for the wealthy to park their wealth. This isn't conspiracy. You've only got 3 years to figure out whether this is wrong or not.
Yeah. Yeah. You better start doing your research pretty hard.
There's a reason they spent $2 billion building out into the ocean in Monaco.
Yeah.
They didn't need to build into the ocean, except that's where the tax-free zone is. So they're going to spend whatever it costs to put in 900 more residences into the ocean, because if they go the other way, they're in France.
Yeah, you get.
And you know what's happening in France.
Down there.
So again, people be like, "Oh, you're fear mongering." No. The mega yachts. Do you think they're a pissing contest? No. What happened last time they needed to change a government? They burnt the country to the ground under a false regime of oppression.
Yeah.
Just to change who was running the country. What do you think the next step is? The wealthy know what the next step is, so they built cities that float, anti-aircraft technology, anti-submarine attacks technology, so they can just go float out into the middle of the ocean and come back when everything's charred and just own it again.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, here we go again. Run it back. But,
ta-da!
Yeah.
Now we got a lot of charcoal to sell.
Yeah. No, and it's crazy because I remember Central Social Hall a few years back, and you guys even pre-prepped us for 2025, 2026.
Yeah, we told you guys where the interest rates were going to be. Actually, we told the big spike in 23 into 24. We told you guys almost 3 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
Don't get mortgages you can't afford because this is where the interest rates are going to be. We weren't guessing. It's basic math. It has to balance out.
Exactly.
So it's not my fault. It's not the bank's fault. You went and got an $800,000 house when you were only looking for a $550,000 house.
Yeah.
For what? So you could show off how broke you're going to be?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but you're fear mongering.
That's just it. And I don't, during the seminars, like producer Mac, he doesn't say anything. Lately, he's been getting very upset on the blatant lies in politics, but that's just because he's fed up.
Absolutely.
Never before did you ever hear him give an opinion.
Never.
He would just say, here's the math behind using a GIC.
Yeah.
Here's the math behind using your TFSA.
Yeah.
This is what the stock market has done throughout history.
Just
present the data.
It was the first time that it was refreshing, because when I did join the group that first year, and I did do all those seminars, not getting an opinion, even though sometimes I wanted it, like I remember there being people that wanted the opinions.
Yeah, we told you, we're not ever going to give you advice
Exactly.
or give an opinion. If you guys ask how I would approach it, I'll tell you because this is what I've done in my life. I can tell you what I've done. I will never tell you to do what you do, because I don't know your risk adversity.
Exactly.
I don't know whether you want to put in 18 hours a day for 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't know any of your variables. Like if you'd say, which stock should I buy for this really good play? I'm not going to tell you that, because I'm not responsible if you lose money.
Absolutely.
I can show you, I'll get someone who's better at the stock market to explain all the variables about what makes a good or a bad stock by reading the data.
Exactly.
So if you know the data, you can just go through the whole listing and find the one that maybe you're interested in tech.
Yeah.
Invest in tech stocks.
Yeah.
If you're interested in REITs, go over there, ETFs. But do you even know what they all mean? Or did someone who's like, trust me, bro, buy this?
Exactly. Chad sold me a $30 course and said, hey, you need to today go buy Dollarama stock, like something of the sort. Like, it's like, okay.
We never told you guys to buy gold or silver or precious metals. We just told you what we hold.
Exactly.
Never would we say you should do it, because we don't know if you're in a financial position to hold physical gold.
Exactly.
And playing the paper gold market, where you're buying contracts, it's leveraged on gold that exists, but it's leveraged at a higher rate than what actually is physically available.
Exactly.
So this is going to be a massive play right away, because if the people who bought the contracts want to hold it physically, there's more paper contracts of silver than there is physical silver on the planet.
Yeah.
Where is? We're not even going into that, because that's going to scare the hell out of people.
There's another seminar for that.
Oh man, when people actually find out how much paper silver has been sold versus how much physical silver exists.
Yeah.
And then if they understand what happens if the owners call it and say, we want to take possession of our silver. You think we have mental health issues right now, or you had a stressful day at work because the barista got your coffee order wrong?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wait.
The financial fallout of just calling silver, and it's not even $100 an ounce right now.
Yeah.
We're not talking about gold at $5,000 an ounce. We're talking silver. I think it's at 84 or 86 today.
Yeah.
But there's 2 billion ounces of silver outstanding that do not exist, but have been sold and traded on paper. That was as of like 48 hours ago, so that might have changed by 1%.
Yeah, let's see how this is going to go.
So let's round it up to 100 by 2 billion.
Yeah.
Where does 200 billion come from to cover that? That will wipe out banks.
Yeah. And
where's your money?
People aren't ready.
In banks.
So
you think having your bank account is going to save you?
Yeah.
You think having a stock portfolio where they can freeze an exchange to stop a sell-off, you think your stock portfolio means something? Congratulations, you've been tricked into believing you have security, so you'll be quiet until you find out it's not enough and you're too old and weak to do anything about it. Again, I'm not calling conspiracy. It's happening right in front of us.
It's literally in front of you.
It's right in front of you.
It's the peanut butter jar in the cupboard. That's when you open it up. It's right there. You're just failing to miss it.
I thought it was yogurt. I thought it was purple, or whatever you thought it was there the whole time.
It's right in front of your face the entire time. You chose to just see it as something else.
That's why I like being the brokest guy in the city.
Well, you always buy the best coffees in the city, so.
Well, I need Will here at Boa and Hare to front me some coffees.
Need that, absolutely. But I think that's where.
Scared you enough? We're going to wrap this one up?
I think so. We're going
to do this again?
I think we do need to, I want to come back in a year from now and go over how much jobs we've lost from AI and just show you how much more I've leveraged this fearfulness of AI. Because everyone's scared of AI. Well, I don't want to use it yet, or this not why are you, if you're so scared of it, then you should probably go learn about it, don't you think?
Instead of just spewing something without knowing.
Yeah.
So if you really want to ask, our global group invested heavy in NVIDIA years ago.
Okay.
So it's not because we're interested in AI, it was just the understanding that in order to the infrastructure, to remove the liability of lazy, progressive world liberal employees, and I shouldn't even just say liberal, because most employees now are not productive, something was needed. So it was being developed much quicker. So you've got these massive gigacenters coming up now, and well beyond huge giant manufacturing centers. These are gigacenters. These are the equivalent of Red Deer. I mean, it gives nothing to people who are watching this, but it's the only major town between the two major cities in our province. Something that big is being built in a colder climate to keep the temperatures down above us in the north, so that's going to be a major center for AI. If the government's willing to the government does better math than anybody on the planet. Banks do the second best math than anyone on the planet. So when they both agree to do this, your personal opinion means nothing.
Don't matter anymore.
Exactly. So you could have got involved. So I'm not going to say exactly what the NVIDIA play was worth, but you can imagine on the scale of what we do, what that was worth.
Absolutely.
And I don't recall taking anything from broke people to make that play.
And now NVIDIA is stopping all of their consumer-based graphics card for the next year. Why? Because there's so much demand for it for the rest of the AI infrastructure for enterprise level. Now, all of a sudden, for someone like myself, if I want to go to buy or build a PC, that's now gone up double in price. And it will be like that for the next year, probably for a long time, actually. In fact, it's probably not really going to change all that much anytime soon.
And if you know anything about the consumer market, what do? You tighten up supply, which increases demand.
Exactly.
Broke people follow hype. They're going to pay whatever they need to get exactly what they want right now, even if they got to put it on their credit card and pay 19.99%. That's why we own credit card stocks.
Good play. It's
because
a good play.
Understanding broke minds who actually spend the most, because like we've discussed, wealthy people have equity held in assets.
Exactly.
Did I say they have money? No. So who has the money? Money flows through broke hands. Because they go to work, they get currency to buy shit they don't need.
Exactly. And
wealthy people provide the shit that they want to buy. That's the only cycle of anything. So when they say take it all away from the wealthy and give it to everyone and equal it out, the mindset that made them broke in the first place, they're just going to take all that money that they didn't earn and give it right back to buy a set of LeBrons, to go out for dinner 4 times a week, skip the dishes, a car that's $40,000 more than they need. Within 28 to 30 months, the wealthy will be wealthy again, and the broke people will probably be in more debt because they were given money they didn't earn, which means they can grab more credit. Much like a lottery winner, you win $10 million, but you used to make $60,000 a year. Your $60,000 a year earned you probably $25,000 worth of credit. The moment you got 10 million, the bank's like, would you like a $5 million line of credit? So you blow through your 10 because you're all of a sudden thinking you're a great investor. You blow through the 5 million line of credit. Now you're 5 million in debt because you were given money you didn't earn. Ooh, there's the reality, and it sucks. This is why you don't give people money. We spent all the money that we did to help the city build businesses, educate people, not by handing it to people. No. Because that doesn't solve anything.
You can look back
at... You just teach them how to get a handout and then rely on them.
You look at way back at CERB, what everybody did with all their CERB money back then, right? Like that's a perfect example of that.
It really was. You know what happened? Everybody that couldn't afford an LV purse went and bought an LV purse. So you know what I did? Doubled down on my LV stocks.
There you go.
Everybody buying the purse drove up my stock price 600%.
Because they got some free money from the government that they then had to pay back in later years because they weren't supposed to have in the first place.
and my position that I was holding all those years just went, now's your 3-4x. And I'm just sitting there like, y'all just made every shareholder very, very happy by wasting this. You could have started a business with that. You could have bought gold. Imagine if everyone took $2,000 a month, CERB, and bought gold. When it was $1,200 an ounce. They could have bought almost 2 ounces a month, 24 ounces in that first year. 24 ounces would be worth 120,000 US right now. They could pay back the CERB that they borrowed and have all that profit.
But I wanted a PS5.
No, I had to have it. And because the money was free, I paid whatever they were selling for it because I'm an Albertan.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I need it now.
I paid double. I paid double for it.
And then you'll brag about it. Man, I paid double.
Yeah.
Because I got that kind of money. I can pay double.
Yeah.
Like, do you see the ignorance that privileged, entitled society breeds?
Yeah. Yes.
We are so ignorantly belligerent with our currency.
Yeah.
Instead of valuing our time, we value what trading the time for is worth, because then we can say, I make $250,000 a year working in the oil field.
Yeah.
We don't even pay our doctors that who save lives.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
this over here, they're bragging about, well, I paid $50,000 extra so I could have that Ford Super Duty yesterday.
Yeah. But I'm still just going to rip back to work and still work the next 30 on, and then I'll have 2 off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come back
exactly.
with a crack addiction.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
just,
You know.
growing up here has been the ultimate privilege for me because I was never born into money. It was a single mother of 3 boys.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what brands were. I didn't know how to spend money. And I never changed that as, you know, income or revenue grew. So I was never taught to buy things I didn't need. And that was, I think, the privilege of being here plus the privilege of having, let's say, a broke parent.
Yeah.
I never learned how to spend excessively. But if you're born into this privilege of being able to get whatever you want, either by working for it or getting credit and then paying it back as you work, which is what locks you into work for 60 years.
Yeah.
You throw it all away.
Yeah.
And that's really what this society is about. It's about ignoring the privilege you have to get what you should be working for right now.
Yeah. But most of these kids my age, they just think, hey, we just deserve it. It's just we're supposed just to have it now. Like, just
because it's become our norm, we think we're entitled to it.
Yeah.
I should have a great life.
Yeah.
Why? Well, my parents have a $600,000 house. I'm not going to go and get a $350,000 one. People will think I'm broke.
Yeah.
But you are. You're making minimum wage. That's why they should increase minimum wage. You see how stupid the conversation is if you remove yourself from the privilege of progressive society and take someone who's leaving a country of actual oppression. They come over and they see nothing but opportunity because the minimum, like a house that we would never live in, is already a step up from there.
Exactly.
But then they're willing to work.
Yeah.
So when I grew up, we lived in the northeast side in Clairview, which was essentially low income or welfare whites and new to the country immigrant families. 2 to 4 years, the immigrant families leveled up and went to a nicer, cleaner neighborhood.
Yeah.
Who was still left there? The welfare whites.
Yeah.
I know this is an uncomfortable conversation to have with people, and what I learned from there was they all had an excuse.
Yeah.
I was in an accident in the 70s, I had WCB, I can't go back to work.
Yeah.
But they could walk 20 blocks to get a case of beer, but their toe that they ran over with a forklift back in 75 was keeping them from working in 1991. And I just thought, I can't be around these people. Not because I thought I was better than them, but I don't want to ever think like that. Because I remember in my teens thinking I'm not going to get anywhere because my parents weren't wealthy.
Yeah.
How embarrassing. I'm the son of the first divorced family in my mom's side of the family. This is the first divorcee. You were shunned for you being a single mom.
Yeah.
And I actually thought that devalued us. So I had this inferiority complex where I'm going to go fight the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
The world wasn't fighting me.
No.
So I wasted all that effort up here to think I had to fight the world.
Yeah.
It was a good thing I learned fairly young that the world wasn't fighting me. I was fighting a war that didn't exist.
Yeah. How were you able to learn that? What was it that was able to help you discover that?
So this is where you can now ask producer Mac, because I've known him since I was 18.
Yeah.
He caught me as like an angry teenager.
Okay.
I was more than happy I didn't want to talk to you, but if we're going to have an argument, I'm not raising my voice, I'm just going to knock you out.
Yeah.
It's a terrible mindset, but it was just like, I don't yell. And the moment you're yelling, no one's listening, so I'll just hit you really hard. A handle hurt. When you wake up, you'll have a headache. Whatever, it's dealt with. Matt was very calm and collected. He got me focused on like working on cars and stuff like that. But he was there as I progressed we started at Superstore.
Yeah.
$5 an hour.
Yeah.
So he watched me progress he's the one who connected with his friend Dave teaching English in Japan so I could start importing the parts.
Wow.
Mac's seen my entire progression from this angry little shithead trying to prove himself to the world, a world that didn't care about him, but in my head I thought the world was against me.
Yeah.
I got out of it by just hanging around people with, Mac was very calm. He was more educated than me.
Yeah.
He just said, why? Why are you so pissed off?
Yeah.
Like, I owe him a lot.
Yeah.
Because had I done the wrong thing or maybe punched the wrong person, I could have got a knife, I could have got a gunshot, and then it all ends.
Yeah.
We're not having this conversation. None of these hospitals
nothing.
have been built, orphanages have been built. So I think he was the biggest influence in my life to make sure that I didn't do the stupid thing as I was growing.
Wow.
Because when you have something to lose,
Yeah.
fighting someone who doesn't,
Yeah.
you never win. You can win the fight,
Yeah.
but breaking your hand and getting a criminal record, and then I can't fly to Japan to do business, I can't do everything you see me doing now.
Everyone just loses. It's just lost there. Yeah.
So that's really what it is. People much smarter than me, because I was very good at math. had an incredible ego, but then I realized there's people doing life more efficiently.
Yeah.
Whether they approach things calmly or just because they're smart enough to know that the world doesn't give a shit about them, and you're fighting about, it's like punching a wall to get through it, instead of just opening the door.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were able to still at least put that, even though
It took
you
a few
still say
years.
big ego aside though, and still let that listen a bit more, I guess, is what it was, right? And let that influence happen,
I
I
still
guess, a little bit
wasted
more.
my 20s doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But at least I can then tell you in your 20s, this was wrong.
Exactly.
I'm not giving you advice. I'm just telling you that I did it this way.
Exactly.
It was wrong. The biggest shift in my life was in my late 20s when I started doing charity. Charity at a high level means you meet people that can do charity at a high level.
They can help as well.
And if you're respectful, much like you in the Mayfair Club, now you get invited to sit at tables through charity. No one asked what I was worth.
Yeah. They don't
So
care.
that dollar value that I worked so hard to stack meant nothing at the next table.
Yeah.
They wanted to do greater things together.
Yeah.
That's where I really had to check my ego, because I went from being the top of the table like that Mac was sitting at, we'll call it revenue-wise, to being at the bottom of the very next table. Like I knew nothing compared to that. The shot in the ego was, I could either have said, to hell with these guys, they think less of me, they think they're better than me because they make more money, which a lot of people do, and I'm just like, they look happy, and I'm wound up.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, because they've made investments. They don't go to work every day. They manage their investments. They do projects with these other wealthy people that, yes, there's a lot of equity in it. There's a lot of monetary value in it, but it's growing all together.
Yeah.
And then they invited me to work, a very small commitment on one of these plays.
Yeah.
And I realized, wow, that generated more with less physical effort on my part, that my brain started to calm down in my 30s.
Yeah.
So if you ask me why we did what we did in COVID, there was two reasons.
Yeah.
I didn't want children to grow up in the type of household that we did, where mom's crying trying to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And I don't want, you guys have enough to fight. You young generation have enough to fight now. Your phone's telling you that you're in a different fight every day. Every 3 hours, a new stimuli. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
There's a cause to fight for. Someone's being oppressed. Guess what? It's you today. Oh, it's not you today. Now you're not important. These people are important. If you're not with us, you're against us.
Yeah.
All this propaganda just to change. You guys have enough to fight up here.
Yeah.
I don't want you guys fighting a war that doesn't actually exist. I'm going to take you away. The noise. This is why we opened up the ability for people to travel with us. I'm going to try and stress on that.
Yeah.
We opened that door so you guys can come and get away from the noise of all the bullshit that you hit here.
Yeah.
And just come see how people achieve.
Yeah.
There's still nothing to sell you. There's no course to sell you. No. There's just showing you what happens when you remove the filters of bullshit.
Yeah.
We have no problem if people use whatever knowledge we pass on to become infinitely wealthy.
Yeah.
But you're going to cease having access to us if you do not do the equal and opposite charity for the wealth you do. The further you get away from the poverty line, you better be helping the people who are impoverished around the world. We're not in poverty in North America. Just because you live in a shitty condo does not mean that isn't 10 times better than 80% of the world. I can take you to mainland China.
Yeah.
They're living in a mud hut in 2026.
Yeah.
I can take you to Africa. They would love a mud hut.
But
how do we know? We just built a school in Mozambique in December.
Yeah.
Trust me, the single portable outhouse for 300 kids that finally got a plastic toilet was the best they'd ever had it.
Yeah. but we have paper straws instead of plastic.
Oh my goodness. The ducks. And I do love ducks. So yeah. But yeah, if we have you focused on that, you're not going to look at your future.
Exactly.
So if you're constantly in the now, being the anxiety's through the roof, the medication is through the roof for the young minds, how are you ever going to build a future if you're so stuck in the present and how it's supposedly so terrible? Of course kids are, whatever the word is, unaliving themselves at record rates because they believe there's no future.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here talking about what we're going to build and give back to the world. How can there not be a future? The future is every second past what we're currently living.
Exactly.
There's nothing more important than that. I don't care what happened 10 years ago. I don't care what happened in our history 200 years ago. If it was bad, learn from it and don't repeat it.
Exactly.
If it was good, learn from it and repeat it.
Exactly.
You can't erase history because it's ugly.
Exactly.
So let's keep the books, let's keep the statues, let's keep the knowledge alive to determine how we progress.
Exactly.
Truly progressive society, not a progressive, I'm woke, I know more than you, let me tell you everything I know.
Yeah.
Well, how about we have a discussion? No, because you're wrong.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We have dialogue and we can both learn. We do not have to agree, but the respect is the dialogue that happens.
Absolutely.
We will communicate. We can walk away from this having completely different opinions.
Absolutely.
But we're human. We can respect each other.
Yes.
Not once have I told you where I politically align, because I don't align politically with anybody.
Yeah.
I align with helping people.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's not a political agenda. That's a basic human understanding of, if you have more, give more.
Exactly.
If you know more, teach more.
Yeah. Exactly.
So why does that have to be political at all?
Yeah.
I don't even vote, if you want the honesty.
There you go. There you go. But there's all these narratives that it's this or that, and it's this way sideways.
If you're not this, you are that.
Exactly. It's not always that black and white, though. It's
I'm going to start wearing gray just to make a point.
There you go. No, it's just...
All right. I believe they're closing here at the cafe. Will's getting cleaned up. So, man, this was awesome.
Thank you so much.